And good afternoon, and thank you for joining me today. We are going to be looking at fraction division. So I've got a question over here. I wrote it up wrong. 2/3, and I'm dividing it by 1/6. That means I've got 2/3, and I'm dividing by this small piece over here. So each of these top ones is worth 1/3, and this is worth 1/6. So when we're dividing, what does dividing mean? I like to use the word sharing. So if I've got a cake, and I'm sharing the cake with 4 people, or I'm sharing the cake with 2 people. So normally with division, our number gets smaller. But when we're talking about fractions, our number actually increases, it gets bigger. So if I'm thinking about I've got 2/3 and I'm sharing with 1/6 of a person. So I'm thinking about how many 1/6 are in 2/3. So I can go, I actually did this wrong. I'm going to fix it up quickly. There we go. So which means I've got 1/6. I've got another 6. Another 1/6. And another 1/6 to equal to 2/3. Which means I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So my answer is going to equal 4. Now, that's what we are doing. But now I would like you to think about the process. So the process is, without doing the visuals, is we flip the second fraction that we are sharing. We're sharing with. So I flip it and it becomes a multiplication. So instead of dividing by 1/6, we're timesing by 6/1. And then we do a normal multiplication. 2 times 6 equals 12. 1 times 3 equals 3. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. I'm going to give you another question. Let's see if we can do this one. I've got a half. And I am dividing it by a quarter. So I've got a half, and I am dividing it by a quarter. So I've got my half here. I've got my quarter here. I need to think about how many quarters do I have in the half. I've got 1, and I've got 2 quarters in a half. So a half divided by a quarter equals 2. I can double check that by using the process. I can switch my numerator and denominator around on my second fraction, and it becomes times. So instead of dividing by 1/4, it becomes multiplied by 4/1. And then I times the numerator and I times the denominator. So 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 times 1 equals 2. And it equals 2. Got exactly the same answer. I'm going to give you a question. I would like you to have a go using the visuals. I've been doing these ones, and now we are going to do these ones together. But I want you to have a go first. So our question is 2/5. And I am dividing it by 1/3. I'll give you some time. I hope you had some time to pause the video and have a go yourself. I am going to be going over this now with you. So if I think about what this actually looks like, I'm straight away going to make sure they are equivalent. So I'm going to make sure these are out of 15, just to make it easier for myself. So I'm going, because right now I'm going to just put this into fives. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to put this in 2/3. 2, 3. Makes it a bit hard at the moment for us to visually see, doesn't it? I can see that I've got 2/5 and I can see that I've got 1/3. I know that I need to divide, but it's hard for me to have a go at seeing how many it's going to be. Straight away I can tell it's going to be between 1 and 2. So that's what I can see at the moment. Let's double check by using the process. 2/5. I switch the numerator and denominator around of my second fraction to become times 3/1. 2 times 3 equals 6. 1 times 5 equals 5. So 1 and 1/5. And I did say that it was more than 1 but less than 2. Thank you so much for joining me today on learning fraction division. I hope to see you next time.